There are accounts from deep states of awareness, where the veil between states of being becomes thin. In one such profound observation, a person's consciousness was followed through its initial moments after leaving the body. What was witnessed and shared from that space would offer a new perspective, even to those deeply committed to their inner path, providing one of the most insightful accounts of those first 60 seconds beyond physical life ever shared. Before we explore these transformative insights gathered from timeless wisdom, perhaps consider walking this path of discovery with us. The clarity that follows may illuminate your own incredible journey. Have you ever quietly wondered what truly unfolds in the moment after your final breath? From a space of profound inner stillness, we can access insights into those first crucial moments. What this wisdom reveals may profoundly shift your understanding. In the moments that follow, I will share 3 fundamental insights from this deep well of knowledge. First, the moment of profound clarity your awareness experiences. Second, the pivotal choice you will face, which shapes your entire continuing existence. And third, a deep connection to your current life that many of us fail to see. This perspective does not come from theory, but from direct observations of the flow of life itself, recorded through ages of contemplative practice. Timeless wisdom traditions hold some of the most detailed accounts of this transition of awareness. According to these teachings, the very first thing that occurs as your consciousness separates from its physical vessel is a moment of pure awakening. Sages have described how a newly transitioned awareness experiences an immediate expansion, which one might describe as suddenly seeing the vast, open sky after living your entire life in a single room. But there is something even more significant about these initial seconds. Your consciousness does not simply wander into an unknown space. Instead, something transformative happens. In those pivotal first moments, your awareness encounters the entire tapestry of your life. This is not a fanciful story, it is a fundamental law of consciousness. You literally re-experience your whole earthly existence in an instant, but not in the way you might imagine. And here, the insight becomes deeply personal. During this rapid review of your life's journey, you don't just see your actions. You experience the effects of your actions from the perspective of every person you interacted with. You feel the warmth of every act of kindness you offered, the sting of every sharp word you uttered, the love and the fear you brought into the world. Your awareness feels it all from every side. Accounts from those who have touched this state and returned speak of this. They describe moments where they felt the ripple effects of their choices, understanding their impact with a clarity previously unknown to them. This raises a crucial question that shapes your entire continuing journey. What happens next in those first 60 seconds depends entirely on something most people give little thought to during their lives. Wisdom traditions teach that after this life reflection, your awareness faces a great point of alignment. This is not a judgment from an outside force. It is your own consciousness recognizing its own state of development and what it requires to continue its path. And what these teachings document is quite remarkable. Your awareness, now fully seeing its earthly patterns, chooses its next phase. But here is the profound detail that often goes unnoticed. Some forms of consciousness, driven by deep compassion, choose to remain close to the earthly realm to be a guiding light for loved ones. Others progress immediately to deeper dimensions of being. Consider a parent whose love is so strong, their awareness chooses to linger as a field of support for their children, pausing their own journey forward to serve as a guardian. This understanding changes how we view both life and the transition that follows. But there is an even deeper insight about these first moments. Timeless wisdom suggests that your experience in those initial 60 seconds is directly shaped by the inner work you do during your physical life. It is consistently taught that a mind cultivated through awareness, compassion, and service experiences a smooth passage, while a mind lost in purely material pursuits may face a period of confusion and disorientation. There are descriptions of a soul who had practiced daily mindfulness during their life, For this consciousness, the transition was described as being like a stream that knows its course, flowing effortlessly back to the great ocean. This awareness immediately recognized its new state and moved forward with calm and a sense of purpose. Here is where these ancient insights become practical and life-changing for you right now. We can actively prepare our consciousness for this transition while we are still here. The inner practices you develop today directly influence your experience in those crucial first 60 seconds. Wisdom reveals that a consciousness that regularly connected with a sense of the universal flow through quiet reflection experiences immediate recognition and peace. Those who served others with an open heart find themselves supported during the transition, but those who lived in grasping or fear may encounter a period of fog and disorientation. Think of one who had cultivated inner stillness for years. When their time came, their transition was so clear and present that they could immediately extend a sense of peace to their grieving family. Now, consider a remarkable quality of your consciousness in those first moments. These ancient teachings tell us that you retain your memories and individuality, but with an expanded awareness that allows you to see the purpose behind every single one of your experiences. This opens up a question that could change your perspective on everything. If your awareness carries forward all you have learned, and if those first seconds determine what comes next, what are you doing in this moment to prepare for this natural passage? It is explained that those with the most peaceful transitions were individuals who learned to release attachment to things while still deeply appreciating the experience of living. They cultivated a sense of spiritual detachment, not out of coldness, but from an understanding of life's transient beauty and their consciousness's eternal nature. This is where this wisdom becomes a guide for your daily life. Every choice you make, every thought you entertain, and every action you take is laying the foundation that will shape your awareness in those vital first moments. One beautiful account tells of a healer who was deeply committed to their work but skeptical of anything beyond science. After a profound experience that brought them to the edge of life, their perspective shifted entirely. The wisdom they sought later confirmed that in those brief moments, their awareness saw a brilliant awakening, where all their scientific knowledge found its place within a larger spiritual design. Their years of healing others had created what was described as a pathway of light that guided their own consciousness. But there is something even more wondrous about what happens to your awareness in those first 60 seconds. It is said that your consciousness does not lose its uniqueness. Instead, it gains a universal perspective while keeping everything that makes you, you. A sage once described how a transitioned soul maintained their sense of humor, their love for their family, and their unique character, but now saw how these qualities fit into their spirit's unending development. You do not become someone else after this life. You become more authentically yourself than ever before. This insight holds profound meaning for how you live today. If your core self continues, then every aspect of who you are becoming in this life matters eternally. Your kindness, your wisdom, your capacity for love. All of this continues and expands beyond the physical form. Timeless wisdom consistently shows that souls who lived consciously and with heart experienced those first 60 seconds as a joyful return. They recognized the spiritual realm as their true home and understood earthly life as a precious journey of learning. What gives these teachings their weight is that countless individuals who have dedicated their lives to inner practice report experiences that align perfectly with these principles. There are endless accounts where this spiritual insight proved true. Consider a mother facing a great illness, filled with the fear of leaving her children. Through her own inner work, she found a sense of peace, trusting that her transition would be calm because of her deep love and quiet practices. When her time came, those around her reported that her final moments were filled with an unmistakable sense of joy and recognition, just as her inner wisdom had guided her to expect. Now, here is the most transformative part of what this wisdom reveals. Your experience in those first 60 seconds is not only about your individual journey. According to ancient teachings, a consciousness that transitions with clarity immediately becomes part of the great work of spiritual evolution, helping other souls on both the earth plane and in other dimensions. This means your spiritual growth in this life is not just for you. It is a preparation for a form of service you may not yet imagine. The love you cultivate, the wisdom you gain, the awareness you build, all of this becomes the toolset for your consciousness to help others on their eternal path. It is taught that those who lived lives of service often choose to become guides for souls still in physical form. The grandmother who always had the right words. The friend who seemed to appear just when you needed them. This perspective suggests these may be the gentle influences of a consciousness choosing to continue its service. This brings forth a profound question about your own life and relationships. If consciousness continues and can choose to assist those still here, how might this change your perception of the guidance and synchronicities you encounter? Ancient texts explain how souls that have transitioned in peace often work to create spiritual opportunities for those they love. They do not interfere with free will, but they can help arrange circumstances that invite spiritual growth. One story tells of a son who, after his father's passing, began to experience a series of meaningful coincidences that led him to profound spiritual teachings. He later understood, from a place of deep intuition, that his father's consciousness was lovingly creating openings for his own awakening. Here is what this means for your life at this very moment. You are surrounded by a field of compassionate, spiritual assistance. Those moments of sudden inspiration, those flashes of insight, those events of perfect timing that feel too meaningful to be chance. These may be signs from those whose first 60 seconds after leaving the body were an awakening to their ability to serve from a different dimension. But the most transformative aspect of this wisdom about death is what it reveals about life. If those first moments are shaped by your spiritual preparation now, then every day is an opportunity to create a more conscious and joyful transition. Sages have always taught that souls with the most beautiful transitions were those who learned to live with an attitude of spiritual grace. They approached each day knowing they were eternal awareness, having a temporary human experience. This perspective infused their lives with deep meaning. It is said that a soul who lived this way experienced those first moments as a gentle awakening from a dream into a more vivid and true reality. There was no fear, only recognition and gratitude. This is the gift this wisdom offers you right now. You do not have to wait for the end of life to begin experiencing this expanded awareness. The same inner practices that prepare your consciousness for a peaceful transition also enrich your joy and clarity in this life. It is taught that those who regularly meditated created what could be described as channels of light to guide them. Contemplation developed their connection to divine guidance. Service to others built a spiritual strength that supported them through all things. And here is the most beautiful discovery from this timeless wisdom. Those first 60 seconds are not an end. They are a moment of graduation, where your soul honors all it has learned and looks toward even greater opportunities for growth and service. One final story from the old texts perfectly illustrates this truth. A man who had dedicated his life to inner practice was approaching his final days. His loved ones asked what to expect. His teacher shared that this soul's transition would be like a student who had completed their studies with distinction and was eager to begin a higher level of learning. When the man passed peacefully weeks later, his final words were said to be about the beautiful light he saw and the kind teachers waiting to welcome him. His experience was a perfect reflection of a soul who approaches this transition with spiritual readiness. This leads us to the most important question. Now that this perspective on those crucial first 60 seconds has been shared, how will you use this knowledge to live with more awareness? Remember, every moment of kindness you share, every quiet breath of reflection, every act of service you perform, is preparing your consciousness for the most natural transition you will ever make. You are not just living for today, you are building the very foundation that will shape your eternal journey. If this reflection has opened your heart to the incredible path that awaits your soul, please share it with others who may need this gentle message. Support this work so it can reach more people who are seeking a deeper truth about consciousness. And walk with us with notifications on, because there is so much more to discover about the journey of life, its transition, and the eternal nature of your own spirit. Your soul's greatest adventure is always ahead of you. And now you know how to prepare for it. The first 60 seconds after this life can be the most beautiful moment of your existence. And it all begins with the choices you make right now.